Hello again. Going to do a quick rundown of markets today. Anybody that's interested, if you've got a request, go ahead and send that out here. Here's the DXY. Let's look at the dollar today, what it's done. The daily candle was really just kind of a little spinning top. We were up, we were down, and that's kind of what's driving all of these markets, traditional and crypto. If that dollar keeps going up, you can expect that we're going to keep getting crushed in the markets. Sideways or down is what we're looking for. People wanting to take their money out of cash and risk it on assets. We had pretty big green engulfing candle yesterday, and then this kind of indecisive top today. We're losing the negative momentum here. It's trying to go positive on the daily. On the weekly, it's telling a different story, which I'm kind of excited about. On the weekly chart, we're losing all of this positive momentum because remember, we want to see it go down. We don't want to see this repeat right here. That's not what we want to see repeat at all. We don't want to see these two little red candles and then bam, bounce off a line and fake out. But it's kind of trying to do that again. It's trying to replicate this again. What we want is it to pop up, hit resistance, find a lower high, and let's break this kind of when did it start? February. This trend line, we want it to break down below this and start falling. We need to start seeing prices get back down to this 101.99, something like that, to possibly pick up some steam in the crypto markets and really solidify this little rally in the traditional markets. So the dollar right now on the 4-hour, it's showing a lot of downward pressure. So let's hope that continues to play out. We'll look at the Dow Jones real quick. Dow Jones had a nice little rally and bouncing off this short-term trend line here on the 4-hour. Like what I'm seeing there. We'll go out here to the daily real quick. We still haven't made a macro higher high, but we are showing a type of bottom in formation, which we've seen before and can easily break down, get rejected right here from the bottom of all these candles. Very possible because we're right there. We're kind of at that make or break. We need either another big leg up to break above 33,265 and set in a higher high, because then we will have a higher low, higher high, and we'll have some sort of confirmation that we're going to be heading in the upwards direction. Like to see that. We may just chop around sideways until September and get the next Fed meeting before we get that. I do believe that is when, at the latest, that we will start seeing a turn and start getting some confirmation of upside in the markets. Nasdaq. The Nasdaq's done something, but all these tech stocks have been beaten down so bad this year. I just don't think that it could just get a whole lot worse for some of these companies. Now, it can, but we've already felt so much, and we'll look at a few of them if anybody's got a request for them, but we've made our higher high and higher lows and got 3 rising valleys, which has played out, and I love it. We easily could run up here and test a moving average at 13,569. It's all going to depend on the dollar. Dollar wants to cooperate. Cool, we do it. We don't. Then we'll start looking at, let's see, the S&P. S&P is just like the Dow. It's right here at this resistance. We've got to break this to set in a higher high on the daily, weekly, 4-hour before we have any kind of confirmation and going to be able to start taking definite longer-term long positions. So that's our 3 major markets there. We'll drop down here and look at Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin on the daily. Bitcoin's been trying its best to confirm. We've had 3 rising valleys here and another bottoming type formation. You see in the past, it's not looking great, but it can get a bounce. Like I said, September is really what I'm shooting for. We can get fake outs of higher highs and then drop again. It's all going to be Fed decision, dollars. But a lot of this long-term sideways chop, up, down, you see we'll get big moves after. And even at the top, we'll get chopped for months and then have a big move down. So I'm really looking to the future here. The weekly looks so much better. You've got triple bullish divergence. It's class A, so about the strongest you can get. It's screaming that we are trying our best to turn positive, which last time it did. It was a nice rally. Some people called it, made some money, but it just didn't sustain. There wasn't much of one. We had 2 candles. And hopefully this one comes in a little better, especially since we're coming off of this oversold position on the RSI. So Bitcoin is showing signs of life. We've held this support really, really well, right around this $20,000 range, and that's good because that was a previous all-time high. We want to stay above that to start our next cycle. What's going on, Charles? So that's my outlook on it. It's getting better. We'll go ahead and take a look at the monthly on Bitcoin. We haven't started losing negative momentum yet, but we have had just a blistering year. On the monthlies, you can see we had those 3 and then a nice uptrend. We had 3 more nasty months. Small rebound, but nothing to write home about. 3 more. So I'm hoping that we start working it out, because we are showing 2 monthly candles worth of support at this all-time high of the 2017-18 market. We want to see it move. We want to see it move in the upward direction. You can short Bitcoin, but I just, at these stronger levels, is not where you want to be trying to go all in and trying to short it. I mean, you should have been shorting from up here. We're at a turning point. We almost need to wait and see what's going to happen. But for Bitcoin, for the most part, just sideways chop for a while. I mean, we've been chopping sideways, you can say, since middle of June. This little dump right here, it wasn't fantastic, but we did get below 30K. So Bitcoin is just, it's waiting, like everything else. It's waiting to make its move and try and see what this dollar is going to do, what the Fed's going to do. Are you coming back from out of town? Cool. Well, I'm glad I can ride with you. But you know what the charts are like. You just need to listen anyway, huh? But and Ethereum, we'll look at Ethereum too. That's everybody's second favorite. We're not seeing a whole lot of difference at all. I mean, it's always going to follow Bitcoin, and that's what it does, and going to continue to do until we have that fabled breakaway and we see what it does. But we are turning positive on the momentum of the MACD on Ethereum after bouncing off a historical trend line, put in log scale to make more sense. Looks nice. We're at a major resistance area. You can see how many times we've touched it. We got to break through that. That $1,700 level is going to be very important to get above. And then let's run up to 2,000. You break that mental hurdle of 2,000, and then, the sky's the limit after that. We're going to look at DraftKings real quick as a request from Charles. I have it on my list, obviously, now. I just need to shortcut it. Wow, the weekly candle on DraftKings was massive. I love it. That's just not one that I play a lot. It's not one that I really have on my radar a whole lot when I should, because it's just constantly doing great things. I like it. We got positive momentum everywhere. We're not quite overbought on it yet. So it's showing that we have more room to run. I would not be surprised at all if the rest of this week, if we don't go ahead and pop up there and test that $18-ish range, right around $18, which is a pretty staunch level. No reason we can't blow through that. I can see us, if this rally continues for the next week or two, why we wouldn't go back up and test this 200-day moving average at 22.34. That's where I'd like to see it go. That's on the daily. The 4 hour, no different, looking good. I don't do much with the 1 hour, a little overbought on the 1 hour, but everything else is looking great. Even the weekly showing so much strength. And this, we're butting up against an area that has been a peak before, back in February of 20. If we can get through that, there's nothing. If we blow this top here from February of 20, there's nothing slowing DraftKings down to $27. Plain and simple. You can take some profit at $27 and keep riding it, but you have two minor times that it's bounced off that held support at $27. After $27, you don't even have another candle touching it until 35. So that's definitely one to watch. Keep on your radar. I just don't think it's not a bad time to enter. We're positive on everything. We're looking good. Nice rounding bottom formation. As with a lot of other stocks, we're seeing a turnaround right now, short term. But it looks pretty good there, Charles. I like it. Some of the other big plays today. Who was that? Let me look. This morning. Oh, okay. Yep. One of the members in Discord and a buddy of mine that we bounce ideas off of us, JoJo, or some of you know him online, Reaper. He called out a PayPal play here a while back, and PayPal was up. It closed up 9.5%. I think it was up closer to 11 first part of the day, and it was. I think it got as high as 102, 103-ish. Let's see. Right about 102. Found a little resistance, but it's just showing so much power and strength on the weekly. PayPal's one of those that there's nothing stopping it. On the weekly, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 peaks at 121. And that's it. After 121, you can see PayPal rally to between 173, 180. That's a big move. And not saying it's going to happen all at once. It's not. This could take weeks because it's on the weekly scale to play out. But just a beautiful setup with candles today. PayPal really rocked it and could see a lot more upside in the coming months. We did gap up today. Very good possibility that could fill, but it just puts us back down at $90. And that could just be a back test of, 90 has been a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 couple little local support and resistances. So it could be a back test, a little break, hook, and go, and we're off to the races again. Love it on the 4 hour also. I think PayPal is doing a lot of good things, is going to have a nice future. They're going to be kind of the future of digital finance coming into, if this DeFi stuff all dies out, they'll be the people to go to. Then Target had a good day. Look at it on the daily too. Target had a great day. I mean, to get a 3% rally on Target, Walmart, or anything, that's pretty good. That's pretty good for a day. That's just, stocks normally don't move like crypto. You don't get these massive rips. Target had a great day. I'm in Target. I'm long on Target. I don't see how you can't be after it's been beaten down. You look at it on the weekly. We've got some divergence going on, and we are turning positive on the MACD. Beautiful. We'll look at Nvidia, and it's broken out of this. It's not really a flag. It's just a downward sloping wedge. So this falling wedge is went almost to the end, and it's broke out. It confirmed, and we've had 3 nice candles after that. It's been in a pretty bloody downtrend on the weekly, but on the MACD, we've turned positive these last 2 weeks. We've broken out of this, and let me see, just as a measured move, just for fun, we'll see. We'll clone that over and find the breakout just see where we could go. Yep. And it makes sense. So NVIDIA's just as a minimum 248. NVIDIA's showing that we could easily get a rally to 248 before this just becomes, and it still could just become a lower high and test back down. But everything's looking great. Every indicator is pointing to more upside for NVIDIA with the chip maker stuff and the bill coming up to pass to give all these chip makers money to build out in the United States. You can't go wrong. Yeah, you can't go wrong. With NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, all of those are going to be great. They're all putting big investments here in the United States. Meta, Facebook, nice green candle today. Is it technically? No. It was almost a bullish engulfing candle. But right now, our problem with Meta is this long-term trend line. And I say long-term, it's from December of 2018. We've dropped below it, and we have tested the bottom of that trend line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks in a row. Since we broke that support, we have tested back up 8 weeks in a row and cannot reclaim above that line. We've got to. And once that happens, if we can reclaim above that line, test it a few times to show strength, then we can start looking for that big move up to 220, 225, and see some real progress on Meta/Facebook. I know a lot of you's got some long option calls set in that. Several of our members have been lining up a whole list of option calls to expire January 20th, 2023. We've even got some leaps out to January of 2024. And if you're interested in looking at those option calls or participating in those with all of our members, you can look us up on Discord, Crypto Whiskey, or you can message me here on Facebook or YouTube, and I will send you a link. But some really good plays being thrown around by a lot of really great traders right now. Amazon is another one of those that we've had some massive money made on. Getting texts and calls every day. Hey, that Amazon call 2 weeks ago, a week ago, just has really played out. I think one guy's up 125% in 10 days on his investment, and you cannot beat that, especially with a company like Amazon. They're not going nowhere. They're going to be amazing forever. Ever. You're probably going to buy your cars, coffee, groceries, and medical care from Amazon in the future. They're going to end up ruling the world. Jeff Bezos will be our overlord and probably make us all deliver our own packages to make money. I don't know. I don't know what he's got up his sleeve, but I like it. As long as I'm invested, he can do whatever he needs to do. Walmart struggling a bit, but we had this huge, nasty scam wick down on the weekly. I mean, it appeared on some other, but not as bad. That weekly scam wick down was huge. If you could have caught the bottom of the scam wick at 120, you could have caught almost 12% run, 12% run in a week. But we're turning positive there too. So it's turning around. It's looking decent. Long term, don't bet against Walmart. Don't do it. Do not look at puts. Calls only. Going long on Walmart. Walmart will be here long after we are not. They're too big to fail, I promise you. Google, Roku made a turnaround today. Anything else? Heard some talk of AMC. I have completely abandoned AMC after all of that Reddit manipulative crap. It's just the charts. The chart doesn't look healthy on it long term. I don't like it. They're not viable. The movie theaters are going to go. It's going to go away like radio. Everything's streaming now. I just don't see them having growth much more into the future. It's coming a time. The pandemic helped everyone realize we can stream this at home a lot cheaper than paying for $30 popcorn, and it's just not the same experience to me. I love going to the movie theaters, but they've all become crap. So AMC, I think GameStop might have done something today too. I think Alibaba had earnings or something tonight. Some of the guys were talking about that in there. They got a little pop at close on the daily. Loses some momentum going into positive territory, but the weekly still yet to be determined. We are making a higher or second higher low. Almost the same high. I'd like to see a little higher high before we just go all in on that one. Let's see how Best Buy did today, up 1.5%. Big Lots up almost 3% closed today. Snap. We had some people call out Snap that turned out real well. Snap was up almost 5% today. Snapchat's another one that just it got obliterated. And we're kind of seeing a lot of stuff that says we're turning the corner on the weekly chart. Long term, easily get back up here and see that $37 to $51 mark. What else? IBM, it was green, not a lot. Peloton, which garbage, somebody's going to have to acquire them. Even though they're up 6.5%, they're going to have to be acquired soon. They're just running out of cash and ways to stay alive. Coinbase. Now here was a rip that was unexpected with the crypto markets down. This candle here on Coinbase today, pretty large. I mean, Coinbase was up 20% today. Almost as volatile as Bitcoin. But still yet to make a substantial higher high. Right now, yes, this candle technically closed slightly higher than the previous high. But that initial bounce off that huge dump, it has not reclaimed it yet. We're going to have to reclaim that. Let's see. We get above $85 and then we'll talk. Then it'll start showing some real positivity as far as an investable opportunity. We've got a low and then retest 3 times before it finally got this little rip. Let's look at the weekly. Big bullish engulfing candle on the weekly. We've turned positive, but we're still just it's so pitiful looking. It's got that, it wants to round off at the bottom. I'm just not sold on it yet. I want to see a break of like $85 before we really get into, is this going to be a good long-term investment? Netflix, 2.5% today. Twitter, still garbage. Don't like Twitter. Done with Twitter until Elon gets completely out of the conversation. Tesla reclaimed some serious losses, as you think it would. Elon's not going to let it stay down long. We're testing into a choppy area right here. You got to be careful right now. Let's see where things are going to go before we just keep diving in. What else, real quick, that might be worth mentioning? I'm sure lots of others had some nice runs today. Nikola was up almost 8%. Disney's up 4% at close. DoorDash up 5%. And many others range anywhere from 1 to 10% today. Crypto, you've got your spots of green here and there. I think, was it VeChain, GRT, couple of them up 5 and 6%, 1%. I mean, you're flat to up 2% across the board. Total market cap tells you a lot about where crypto is at right now. You can see on the daily how many times we got rejected for this long-term trend line. And now we're just bouncing around at this 812 billion. Yeah, this 812 billion level, which was another choppy area going into this bull run. All we can do is wait and see. We're trying to build support on it. Let's hope it continues and we keep growing that total crypto market cap. We'll look at crypto market cap minus Bitcoin and Ethereum This is only your altcoins, shitcoins, S-coins, whatever you want to call them. This is all the Doges and the Sheebs of the world, the Wi-Fis. Not much different. They're making up a huge percentage of the market right now. Believe it or not, compared to Bitcoin, they are holding just a huge portion of the markets. Charles, you'll look at the QQQ. Invesco QQQ. Love their commercials where they tell you to invest in them and hate Bitcoin. Yeah, the daily, looking good on it. Looking good. We've reclaimed that high and broke above it with several candles on the daily. Big green candle today. We're coming up on a congestion area, and that's okay. We can chop around. It's not that heavy. I think easily we'll get back to this right here because there's so much confluence at 343 level. I think we easily could run back up to 343, get you a little $20 pump, and keep rocking. But nothing else. Nothing else. Oh, let's look at some manipulative garbage. Sometimes I like seeing the candles. Sometimes the candles are funny. Look at this. Caspian Holdings. Don't even know what it is. Don't even know why it's on my watch list. Somebody obviously requested it before. Look what it does. Every time it gets a big green candle, then it trickles out, takes your money. Another big green candle. Let's assume that your next 2 days, you're probably going to bleed out. You've got to assume every time it gets a big green candle, massive green candle, bleeds out. That is how early investors take profit. They pump the price and then they bleed it out over the next couple of days while you're holding the bag. You bought it from them at a premium. Yes, sir. Anytime, Charles. My man. But I think I had an alert on Empire Petroleum maybe a week or two ago. And it has rallied nicely here. On the daily, we have rallied 56% in the last week. That's definitely a good day. 10.5% today. It was up. That was nice. All right. Anybody else got any more requests? I've just kind of ran down everything that the average stuff that everyone's talking about, what's bouncing around on the internet, what's going on with the traditional markets, crypto markets. Any other questions? If everybody's done, that's fine, and save your questions until next time.